Warning, this pasta may not be suitable for viewers of all ages. The content can be considered not safe for work. Listen at your own risk. Disclosure. The following was typed from a handwritten letter by the original writer. It is extremely graphic and sadly very true. I was a porn director who made videos in the States where it's illegal. Other than the general thrill of being bad, watching nymphos going at each other for nice sums of money, I enjoyed the sense of creating sensual body art in the conceited and hypocritical society we live in. Nothing turns people on more than lovemaking and politics. Several times I had legal trouble, and even more times have I been prepared with an attorney on speed dial just in case. However, call it ignorance if you will, but I continued making these dirty movies. My only rules in the business were to A. Know my boundaries, B. Never step in front of the camera, C. Have talent show identification, and most important, D. Never touch alcohol on set. When you make a porno, it can be as easy as it sounds. However, there are things that you must be wary of, namely who you surround yourself with, who may cause you more problems than facing the said lawsuits. One such case began in fall of 2011, after I'd come off a 5-year retirement from producing due to my aggressive alcoholism. I was contacted by a couple who I had working on under the private contract to help revamp their aging marriage. Remembering how well they paid me, and having 2 sober years under my belt, I decided to take a swing at the game once again. With a paid check, which I've chosen to keep the amount undisclosed, I hired a cameraman, rented some equipment, and hired one of the horniest women I had ever met as a luffer, in case the wife was willing to let the husband get a freebie for timing reasons. We all met at the client's estate, and my camera guy, George, brought him an assistant camera operator for more angles. This guy, going by the name of Holly, was a piece of work. He was crass, rude, and a town-playing hypocrite. But damn it, he had a gift while the camera was in his hands, I must admit. George warned me about how much of a Fruit Loop he was, but as you would now expect, I have met several in the business. How ignorant I was to not screen him better. Holly got under my skin faster than a Justin Bieber song, from annoying the clientele to making rude gestures and comments that disgusted even the porn star I had brought. He really got up with his apparent fascination with interspecies erotica, going into great detail of a sex life he shares with a pet cat. The worst thing happened when he mentioned he had noticed some homeowners owned a pet chihuahua themselves. Thought it was not present, and was obviously interested in seeing it, to the extent I had never known the couple to own a pet due to the fact it was kept in another room. At this point, both women in the room left, and the male clientele became infuriated with me for breeding this freak. I reminded him George was in fact the one who brought him out in without telling me. We turned to face him. We found that Holly and George were gone. Still upset myself, I walked and talked with my client as we entered the kitchen to find the women mixing drinks and doing cocaine. As I proceeded to relapse due to the disturbing events, the client's wife was holding the pet chihuahua, who had been kept in a downstairs bedroom while they were filming. However, the poor animal was weak and frail, shaking in a way I'd never seen a pet do. The client's wife, stricken with horror, showed us a bloody towel she was using to hold the pet underneath it in her arms. It became obvious what the creep had done, promoting me and the husband to charge out of the house in an attempt to confront Holly and George before they drove off the property. Sadly, George's car was gone, and we realized we hadn't even noticed them leave. Despite being forgiven for my involvement, I was harshly reminded of why I retired. The new year has come, and I have not even considered returning to porn ever again. However, I still drink to drown the horrors I have witnessed, and as animal rights advocate, I don't care if anyone blames me. I keep in contact with my ex-clients until they're filing for divorce in December 2011. Something I know I am responsible for in my heart. My once nymphomaniac, cock-loving friend has since become born-again Christian. As for George, or that creepy bastard Holly, no idea. Though it's probable for the best that I never see them again. My attorney called me just last week, angrily demanding that I come to his office. As I entered the study, it was very clear he was truly upset with me. He went on to tell me that the former clients were now suing me for animal cruelty. Finding this absurd, my lawyer proceeded to level with me. A video emerged on one of my former porn sites, taking place in an extra bedroom at the ex-client's house. Having come across it, the husband forwarded it to his lawyer, and he sent it to mine along with the lawsuit. From that end, my attorney viewed it and wanted me to see it as well. In the video, that lasted 7 minutes and 6 seconds, Holly was visible, raping the chihuahua. No audio was recorded, as he was busy with the dog. Someone else was definitely holding the camera. I naturally pointed out that he had to be George, and snuck into the room at the same point to do it, but as my lawyer skipped to the 6-minute mark, my throat went straight into my lungs. I was horrified to watch the cameraman turn the camera around to show it was my drunken self smiling and enjoying the event just as much as Holly was. Despite the obvious fact that I have not been drinking for 2 years, nor have I ever met Holly until that night, the damning evidence was right there in front of me. Investigators are searching for the rapist himself, but I know, as I sit here in my county, waiting for my court date, that they will never find him. Things have gotten worse since then, as my insanely depressed mother and my now ex-girlfriend come to visit, informing me that George was found dead in Atlanta, Georgia from an overdose. They went on to saying that this would be the only time they'll ever visit, and I'm now dead to my family. The stinging pain of knowing the footage is out there somewhere, and the fact that Holly is still out there. I am a raging alcoholic. These things add to the fact I now accept A, I should rot in here. B, I never should have returned to the porn industry. C, I should never have touched alcohol that night.